I mean, this is the most stressful part. So, like, if you
Yeah,
can,
it's
Yeah.
this moment right here.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Hi,
Uh,
welcome to Live from the Apocalypse. We are live right now. We're waiting on, well, now two of our players from a, uh, well, one person is getting water with poorly timed decisions, and the
he's
other
back.
person is dealing with a bike chain accident. So we're trying to make sure that we can get started and get moving, but be here and ready to go once Zach joins us. So it does sound like he's okay. So in case you were worried, looks like we're all right. Welcome to Mercy of Time. It's Wildcard Wednesdays, and we have switched our charity benefit from the last time we were playing. So just to call your attention to the difference that's happening down below me on your screen, which is that we are raising money for the International Rescue Committee as voted by our hosts and players. We reached our goal for Planned Parenthood and Surfrider, so we have switched our funding goal now to a different organization that does fantastic work. So if you like what you're seeing and you choose to donate, that's where it's going from this broadcast and any of the others as we raise towards that goal. It's on the bottom, so you can see that. Please donate through the link, or it doesn't count. As personally, I have donated and not gotten it to count because I don't always do that. Just FYI, that's a thing that helps. Not that donating is bad, but you know, you may not want to make the same mistakes that I have.
It all worked
Yeah,
out.
it's fine. It's fine. Still to a good cause. Doesn't matter. So it's been a little while since we were on stream. So welcome back with us. There have been a bunch of things that have happened in this game so far, and this is our penultimate episode. So you've joined us at exactly the right time, is what I'm saying. We have a group of our four adventurers that are currently on a road through pastoral land that has been changed by some grand cosmic event to be a little bit removed from time the way that it should have been. We last episode had a gigantic prehistoric bison that we spoke to a little bit. P.S. Be aware of lions. That's a thing. We had our heroes both help out the families that were packing up their village to get on the road because there's a volcano going off now, which wasn't happening, before this occurred. Also, that comet they've been following in the sky is now going another direction. So a bunch of things that have shifted that we're dealing with the fallout now. They also made short work, really short work actually, of a set of bandits that came and attacked the caravan and village while they were out chatting to those bison. Even those like battering ram ogres just did not stop this crew. We escaped with like one scratch, just like one very elegant scar, and that's where we've started today. So we have our crew is back in this village alongside the road headed to Neil Draw, which is one of the metropolitan areas in Kaoland, which is a massive, like prairie grassland, previously really rural pastoral country that now is a little bit more uncivilized and wild. And brain, yes.
Also, as the person who got scratched, it was more than half of my hit points. Just
Oh.
just want to point that out.
It's an elegant scar, and will make you very attractive to all of the people that you share that story with at every tavern from now on.
It's exactly what Brand wants, obviously.
Yes. Yep.
I heard the hit point number, and I was just like, I'm not going to heal this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't think it was high enough, but now that I know it's half your hit points, I'm like, okay, maybe I made the wrong decision.
It was 21. I took 21 points of damage.
Communicate with your party. All right. Well, you'll have a little bit of a chance to do that, because the sort of first thing that we're going to start with is just a little bit of the fallout, and I'm going to kind of narrate us through this, the fallout of this raid on the village that was already packing up. So you helped both some of the setup of these people that were attempting to take like what was important for them to get started again elsewhere, get their families packed up, and head out of town. And then your caravan coming through headed the opposite direction, which is a kind of loose group anyway of relatively capable people, as decided by the leader, which is Toth Black Eyes, is leading your group foot, which you met in a prison riot, so he seems like good people, right? That's how we make all of our friends. And we're using that caravan was badly damaged. So in terms of the like wagons and things that were coming through with what you had left from Obsidian Bay, a lot of those are in not fantastic condition, not outside of the realm of at least most of them complete disaster. But I did some rolling, and the plunder of what you got from the bandits in terms of the horses, etc., that they came in on, does kind of make up for most of the damage that's been done to the caravan. It's just that people are going to need to sort of refigure out how to get their things where they're going. So I have kind of two questions to get us started off in the aftermath of this fight, and as we're getting ready to roll out, which is, are we still following this like caravan if they get like stick together? So still on the road towards Neildraw, towards the direction of the erupting volcano. I would just like to be clear, especially for those watching, or going either staying here or going back, which is the direction that the halflings that are packing up their village are headed out towards the ocean and in the direction of where the comet is like sort of flying in the sky. As like the chaos dies down, people are, someone has made like a bonfire on the side of the road and is throwing bandits on it. Those that didn't make it, you're welcome to like do some looting. Most of them were only holding a little bit of coin, so we can parse out exactly what you find. But they don't have anything super interesting. None of the weaponry is particularly great. This is not a like, you get the distinct impression that this bandit group was formed as the new year started and all of this stuff has started happening, which was 2 days ago. So it's not a real organized band, but if you're like really digging that one person's shawl, by all means, it's nice. Like maybe grandma made it for him. You're not sure.
I have a corpse.
Yes, Toad would like a corpse. We've established this. Yes. You may.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a particular like individual in mind for your grave robbing here? Sorry, not grave robbing. There's not a grave yet.
Grave recycling.
It's reusing, recycle it. Yeah. Is it upcycling? If you're
I'd like to upcycle the bandit leader.
Okay. I mean, like, it is the one that hit Bran, so that feels like, okay.
I wonder, this is not a conversation that Bran would be able to participate in, but I feel like when it comes to creating undead, wouldn't the ogres be like, because the bandit king or whatever is just, the bandit leader is just going to be like a guy. He's going to be like a medium-sized zombie, but like the ogres would be like large-sized zombie. I don't know.
I can only do medium or small.
Bandit leader it is.
Yeah. Ogre is just too much mycological whatever nonsense to handle. Okay. All right. You will need to get like kind of in the way of making sure that the corpse does not burn. Are you being subtle about this?
No, I'm just going to grab the bandit leader, drag him to the corner, and then start putting mushroom spores on him.
Some of the people of your original caravan are going to be severely freaked out by these events that you have.
I'm casting Animate Dead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. This will change the way that the rest of the caravan feels about grouping with y'all. So
That sounds like their
you're
problem.
you're
Mhm.
welcome
I
to,
thought these
to
were all
make
tough
those
people.
decisions.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. All right. Fant- that will sure. So is it just like on your cart? There's a like
How is
yeah,
our
he-
cart?
it could use some help. If any of you have mending, you can spend some time with it. If you have tools, you can. It's not that it couldn't roll right now, but you've got like a cracked wheel that's going to make things difficult if you stay on it for too long. Yours is in better condition than some of the others, in part because it didn't look there was a whole lot in it, because your stuff is largely in the bag of holding. So,
Did they touch the time bread?
um, no, the time bread has not been touched, possibly because superstition is a thing with these shimmers, for sure. I tried to make art of the time bread with one of the like AI generator bits that we've been playing with on the server, by the way, and the AI cannot follow my imagination on what this thing looks like. So it just sort of looked like one of those like things made out of recycled skateboards, and that is not what time bread looks like. So as soon as I find a decent graphic, I'd be happy to share it with all. But like, just
I mean, it's
like,
something that
the
we've kind
idea
of
of prismatic
defined.
bread
Mhm.
did not fit with computer intelligence on this. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's something we've kind of defined by our inability to define it. So
Mhm.
I think that makes sense.
It is unable to be captured in a single image, and that definitely speaks to like there's beauty in the complexity, right? Yeah.
I will try with some of the closed source stuff that I have.
Time bread.
Yeah.
So you're covering the bandit in mushrooms?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Sick.
Yep. This is Sharon doesn't seem like super freaked out about it. The cleric that you have like Toad helped to heal some of the one lad from the village with, etc. Like she doesn't look like it's like, oh yeah, you're just using mushrooms, cool, but she doesn't look like it's like hugely outside of what she would say, like what would deem appropriate for how you would recycle a dead body. She might not be aware that what you're doing with it is animating it, but mushrooms cause things to like decay and go back to the earth, right? That makes sense.
Mhm.
And then you have other members that have decided to stop talking to you and your group. They don't have
Too
talk
broken up
with
about
plants and bed mold,
Yeah.
so it's fine.
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
At some point, the bad leader's going to stand back up.
Were any of the big
How,
burly people helping?
Remind me how long this takes, because it does take
Takes
a
a
little bit
minute.
of time. Oh, I thought it took longer than that. All right. Great. So,
And then he's up for 24 hours.
Okay.
wonderful. Yeah. Okay, this is great. First off, what do you all want to do? Like,
I'm happy with my corpse.
great. I'm asking about what you want to do in terms of direction. Yes. Toad has a toy. It just looks suspiciously like someone that harmed one of your party members just a second ago. It's fine. Very fresh.
Brand has made her peace with it. I don't really know at this point because we still don't know
Mhm.
anything about like either direction.
Well, we know where we've been.
Yeah.
And it's maybe changed behind us, but there is something about moving forward onto new uncharted lands.
Well, we could do that with the caravan, or we could do
So
that
I
with the
do want to
halflings,
be
right?
I do want to be clear about sort of the directions that so the road that you're on goes in two directions, but the direction that you came from Obsidian Bay is kind of at a 90 degree. So you can think about this as having sort of three different travel directions. Going backwards would get you closer to Obsidian Bay, but where people are going is towards the coast. Like the comet didn't reverse its direction like back over where you had been. It's behind you, headed over the Azure Sea. So there are like you would have to head back towards Obsidian Bay to then keep going to where the people that are starting to, and where the halflings are talking about going, which is towards the coastline. Obsidian Bay is still along the coast, but it's further towards both the east and the north from where they're headed. Which, that being said, you could head back towards Obsidian Bay if you decided that you wanted to backtrack. It is not the direction of the volcano. So there's almost like a 3-point heading back the way that you came is back towards Obsidian Bay up until a point. And then you would have to decide if you wanted to follow where the comet is and go further towards the south, or if you wanted to continue back the way that you came and sort of track east.
Zerk votes for Volcano.
Yeah, Zerk has been advocating for Volcano, I think, for most of this time. Yeah. Okay.
I'm currently debating whether I need a backup buddy.
How many can you have? Is it just one?
Oh no, I can only have one, but I just a second one in case this one gets destroyed.
We're not carrying around a rotting corpse with us.
Yes,
More
we
than
are.
one. More than
Well,
one.
more than
Only one of
one.
them carrying.
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
That one's
We're-
carrying itself.
Yes. Unless it
And
can walk
I mean,
on
if
its
it's a
own.
medium creature, theoretically, you might have space in the bag of holding for, and it doesn't have, there's only so much of an air supply. It wouldn't decay as badly.
Classic D&D. I'm fine with Volcano.
I'm fine with Volcano.
Okay.
I am a being of fire, so.
Okay. So, as you complete your tasks for the evening in terms of making sure everything is in place, that your cart can still move. If you'd like to take extra horses, you've definitely got plenty to choose from now. The rest of the caravan is going to do more or less the same thing. Some of them are abandoning some of what they had, either moving it towards the village or just off of the road. The families have done sort of something similar in that they've made sure that their things are serviceable enough to move, but they're still planning on getting out and traveling back towards the coast. So the way that you came along the road, but they're not going towards Obsidian Bay, they're going to head towards the coastline of on the Azure Sea. For just getting out of Dodge. As you are packing up in the few hours of evening time, because it was already those long shadows as you were coming back from the bison, so night and fall. The getting ready to move on means that most people are going to rest for the evening. So most of the caravan is moving forward still. Some of them have decided to go backwards with, or at least in the same direction as the halflings. So you've lost another small section of the people that were traveling forward, just in the wake of one, the direction of the comet changing, but also that there's a little bit more danger this way than they originally thought. And now there's an option of people going the other direction, safety in numbers. So you're gonna sort of form camp, same thing, slightly to the side of the road if you want to take up part of the village for the evening. Is there any other than creating your animated corpse? Is there anything that you would like to do before travel restarts in the morning?
No.
You want to send him to chop some firewood? What are you doing?
I want to walk up to Sharon and be like, what should I name him?
Sharon gets it. She's worthy.
She's gonna kind of go, he had a name. I suppose it's probably not, well, I don't know it, and I doubt you know it, but maybe not a good idea to call them by their other name. What's one of the mushrooms that's growing on him now?
Whittier?
Call him Whittier. Easy enough to say, you won't forget it.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to walk up and introduce Whittier to people.
Yeah. the fact that it's like moving, like is less. She's less cool with it now that it's like, but it is a like, okay, this is great. Circle of life and all that, and it is still decaying. Great. There are definitely members of the caravan that are like going to refuse to interact with this mushroom being.
Has a name.
Yeah. Now it has a name. We have named it. You all have done that to me. Yes. So Woodier is walking with you. Great. And you're introducing Woodier. Great.
I think
You have to
Brand is,
direct Woodier to like shake people's hands, etc. Yeah, okay. So this is you walking around with your little puppet corpse. Got it. Okay.
It's been a
I mean,
while since I've had a puppet corpse, so I'm very
I
happy.
know, yeah, Toad has a pet. We're so excited. This was your choice.
I mean,
Okay.
case could be made that this is a completely natural phenomenon since it's coming from fungus and not
Mhm.
like
And, can
Arcane.
any of us
Necromancy.
explain the fungus? Like the mushrooms? Can any of us actually like
well, it's the zombie fungus, right? The thing that like
oh
turned
god,
the
yeah.
ants
No,
into.
Cordyceps is its own level of terror,
Mhm.
at least for me personally. Like it's
Mhm,
like
yeah.
prion disease and cordyceps are two things that
His
I don't
eyes
miss.
are kind of cloudy
Ah,
and white, and things are moving around slowly.
He's just trying to give you nightmares, Vicky.
I'm aware.
Mhm.
Yep. Thanks. Love you too. Okay. All right. Anyone else have things that they want to put together? I was going to say, like artificer wise, I think you have what you're currently. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Great.
I think Brand is out at the first opportunity between all of the abilities that she used and the damage she took. I think she is
Yeah.
gonna pass it,
Okay.
basically.
So begs the question: will you be healing her, Toad?
Yeah. I can cast. I mean, we're taking a long rest now.
I was going to say if you're going to
Yeah.
sleep, like you'll get back the spell slot. But you are talking about once again about half of the health of your party member. So if you are
Yeah.
like
Well, if we take a long rest, I'll be back to full health anyway.
and like Woodier can cradle you as you're resting to make sure that you get a nice like really good
No,
sleep, soft, kind of spongy now.
no,
Yeah.
I can.
What is that? The
Not bad.
mycelium is all of the like root network under the like yeah. Like I
Mhm.
imagine that's got like a nice sort of memory foam type texture.
Mm,
Just in case
delicious.
something happens in the night, I cast Cure Wounds on Brand.
Okay.
For
Appreciate it.
17 hit points. 17.
It's huge.
that is huge.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So you'll bed down for long rest. Get all cozy. Do you wrap Woodier up in a blankie? No. Okay. You do it for your cat. Just saying. Yeah. So as you rest and actually get sleep, there are people with like smaller fires. The bigger bonfire is still burning. Thank goodness the wind is not pushing the smell of that towards you. In the evening, people are discussing plans like up until like later at night than probably normal. It's not the same jovial, sharing of war stories. You've clearly got people that are still drinking, but there's both been the damage to what they're carrying around and now the like idea of like a present danger that's more than just if this had been a few like human bandits on horses, that's one thing. But like the ogres were an interesting an interesting addition to the kinds of things that you're going to see on the road. So you'll head down to sleep. Could I have all of you, if you choose to resist, make a wisdom saving throw? And if you don't choose to resist, just fine. Because you're going to get a dream.
Is it a feeling like we felt before?
No, this one's actually a little different. It's still that like sort of the sense of something celestial or divine, but it doesn't feel the same way. That like jarring thrum of almost like force and like really low frequency sound that you felt previously with the call for champions is not the way that this one feels. For lack of better word, it feels almost like a divine wind.
Zerk will not resist. He'll let it happen.
Belle won't either.
I've rolled a 17. to resist.
Yeah, I'm torn because if it's happening while I'm asleep, I sort of feel like it would be like an unconscious choice on
Yeah,
Brand's part.
it's dream, but it's a
Yeah.
like visitation. So in the same way that like a lucid dream would be, you're aware enough that you can like this would be something you'll remember when you wake, probably.
All right.
But
fair
maybe
enough.
for Toad, it is.
I'm not going to resist it then.
Okay. So for the three of you, the sense that you'll get in your dream is whatever you were dreaming about before, like eating prismatic bread with butter on it. Really, really comfortable sleeping place that is not the ground. There's the sensation, and in the way that dreams can't normally give you actual things that you sense in terms of like touch and temperature, this actually has a feeling to it. So that like breeze that comes across you, you can actually feel like warm air and the sensation of like afternoon sun on your skin. It's almost like waking up into another dream inside of your dream. So the image that you have is the same area where you are, only before it changed. So there's fields of like wheat and millets and grain in, sheafs of things moving in the breeze, and those like, cool golden shifts as the wind moves through different pieces of grass and grain. And that the smell of the earth is much more of things that are actually growing rather than just like the dry grass and dust and prairie that you have now. It's almost a like perfect golden hour, late afternoon sunshine going on. The road is much more groomed than it had been. And coming towards you, like, because you're situated almost exactly where you are in real life, sleeping next to your cart or in the cart or wherever you've set up but there isn't anybody else in the caravan around, just your party. Toad's still there, but asleep, as far as you can tell, just sleeping right on through it. Walking towards you out of the sunshine, so out of like the setting sun bit, there's this like corona that forms around the figure of a woman, right? And she's taller than average, as the image becomes clearer, as she sort of blocks the light behind her and walks up towards you. And she's in robes of this like golden tone of the color of just like perfectly ripened wheat. And there's that light of that perfect warm afternoon sunshine is coming from the sun, but you can also feel it coming from like her direction as she gets closer to you, but it doesn't burn. It's a pleasant, warm sensation of both air and light, like you would need to like ripen if you were fruit or vegetable or wheat. She's got the skin kind of the color of like really fresh, healthy dirt, so that like beautiful sort of terracotta-y color, and like her hair is the color of, once again, like really ripe like grain. Same thing as most of like the robes that she's wearing. And the form of it is a little bit strange. Like it's probably a garment, but it just sort of looks like she's cloaked in this like almost like woven heads of wheat. And she will come sort of out of the light, smiling a little bit as she does so. And she's going to walk over and sort of kneel between Brand and Toad specifically. Those of you that are awake to experience this, she's still like looking at, you're not like being ignored. It's just that she's between Toad and Brand. As far as you can tell, Woodier is not in attendance in the stream. corpses do not experience dreams. It's fine. And she'll offer a like, oh, good evening, honey, to Brand. You did me a kindness. Well, the halflings are one of my chosen people. And as unfortunate as the bandit attack was, in the moments after, when you made sure that their supplies and the things that the bandits had taken were redistributed to the families, you made a gesture of generosity to those who put their faith in me. And I wanted to extend a helping hand for the trials ahead. And if you want to like move and interact, you have some control, but like your ability to speak isn't quite back. So she'll reach for your hand and kind of hold yours and put hers over top of it. Okay. And in the dream, you can feel this, but you also have that sensation from lucid dreaming, like you're feeling it in your regular body outside of the dream.
Mm.
Something with weight, the size of like a scallop shell in your palm.
I will pull my hand back and look at it.
So she'll give you just like the most, beatific grin, and remove her hand, and that lingering warmth you can feel in the stone. So this is like everything from like vermilion to copper to like golden yellow, sort of layers of stone. It's polished and smooth, right? But it's a stone that has different like layers of mineral in it in different colors. And it's for lack of better like idea, it's like almost like a hockey puck or like a hamburger patty kind of a shape. All right. Like it fits in your palm, in your hand. All right. And it's smooth, and it has that warming sensation to it, just like the golden light that she's emitting. Because I think that just a gesture of thanks as you go forward. And she'll kind of turn and look at Toad and like place a hand on his shell. Careful not to touch the bigger mushrooms. I also want to let you know that you do have help that will come back to you in the coming hours, I think. And she'll stand and kind of like just rest her hands. Is the sticker are we signaling something, or are we just playing with it? Okay. I was like, is this like a hand raise? What are we doing? And she'll give you another like sort of smile and like open her hands a little, like for the kindness that you have shown my people. I sincerely thank you and wish you luck on your journey. If you'd like to talk, you can feel that ability has returned. Like it's not hard anymore. I don't know. Not that it was stuck necessarily before, but like the sensation of like, oh, okay, like I can talk in the stream.
Sorry, I would like to talk. But I mean, Zerk is also welcome to talk. Absolutely. Brand, though, when
And
she regains
Belle
the
is
ability,
also awake in this, right? Like you didn't
Yeah.
resist. Okay.
but once she regains the ability, Brandon's gonna, I think, immediately start asking questions of just like, what is happening? Why is everything changing? Why are we going through time? Who is the other person we have seen several times?
Okay. Like, is this just
Why
Coming
are they
out?
looking for a champion?
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
chime-
basically.
chime in. Yeah.
Kind of saying from Zerk, but Zerk would like to call her by her name, America. He's fairly certain this is who he's dealing with. So, yeah, he'd just like to reference her by name.
And she'll give you like a little nod of, it is nice to see you too, Zerk. Thank you for serving my people. And I will answer some of what I can. I don't know everything, and I can't certainly control. Time is part of my domain, but in the sense that I'm a goddess of seasons. So the things happening in proper time and their ability to grow and change is what I do. The grand march of time forward through the ages is not my purview, and it appears that it's not perfectly the purview of these either. I do want to show you something I think you've already seen, but maybe not seen with true sight. And she'll kind of like put a hand up and then like not like snap, but like make a like a little like twist of her fingers, and you'll see again that image that you had from inside the jail when you were able to see the first call of people grayed out, but the figure that you now see that had been grayed, it's almost like instead of seeing everything in dynamic space, it's like still. So for the first time, what you can see really clearly is that it's not one figure but two very, very close together. So the impression that you'd gotten before of that like prismatic effect of one being is masking that there's kind of two. So when she says these, she's showing you the dual nature of the being that's been calling on you. So, and it like lasts a split second and then it's gone. Do you see what I mean?
Yes, but that only doubles the number of questions.
You asked why they're calling for a champion, and I think that I can do a little bit of illumination. The thing that gives any of us power is piety and faith. If you were seeking more power, your ability to find it amongst mortals would be in trying to create acts of piety and power through faith. Now, so far, I have not seen much inspired faith. And like she'll kind of do like a glance in the direction of where you know the volcano is like going off in your presence, and now is the like extinct cone that's been sheared off along the top. But faith is a subtler thing than piety.
So you talk of faith. I come from a society where faith is forced upon us for the highest being, and I believe that everyone is capable of incredible things with or without some omnipotent being looking down upon them.
Certainly. The forced faith, I would argue, is not faith. that falls closer to what I mean when I say piety. That if you are bowing to a will or to a compulsion, that's not an act of faith. And arguably is piety, depending on the nature of the being. Power comes in different forms, but the celestial doesn't power itself through.
Faith in things I can see, like time bread.
I know. And she'll just kind of like smile at you again, like that's cute. Yeah. You're talking to me right now. That's cute. Yeah.
I mean, I can see her, so now I
Yeah.
have faith that she is real.
Hmm. The Zerk, your people are from a realm very different from a whole other plane of existence. But the subjugation isn't an act of faith even amongst the more violent of gods and deities.
In my eyes, we are all gods, depending on relative factors. If you gave the sentience of a human to a fly, but still the same lifespan, everyone else would seem like gods. We live generations beyond them and do things that they do not comprehend. We're flies, and you are bigger than us. That doesn't make you better. That doesn't make you omnipotent and control every facet, but we are all gods, in my opinion.
And I certainly am not omnipotent, though. There are those that wish for more in their short fly existence. That if they think they have a key to the longer life or the greater power, that's they wish to move beyond what they were given.
Is that why they're calling for a champion?
I believe so.
So you say we should best serve not responding to this call for a champion. You think this being is causing chaos in this land?
I think they're asking for power without service. And whether that's a worthy cause, whether you choose to do anything with the gift I give you is up to you. I thank you for what you have done in service to my people, those who follow with faith me. What you choose to do from here is yours. You desire to be a champion, but whether that cause is worthy of your faith or any acts that you have, that's up to you.
This has certainly been illuminating.
Brand will say quietly, I think I understand less.
She will like not quite laugh, like it doesn't actually kind of come out of her mouth, but that like laugh that stays like kind of in the chest. And walk over to your cart, and where the time bread is, she will put a hand on the time bread.
She touched the bread.
She touched the bread, and you can smell that sensation now, that like warming coming from her, and smell the toasty scent of like bread in the oven, and the like prismatic nature of the bread starts to shift, and the parts of it that when you're looking at it just askance are more like dough kind of shift out of existence, and it's still emanating a light that you're not sure it should, but it looks, at least mostly now, like just a normal warm loaf of bread. And she'll give you a little like nod and walk back towards the direction of where the like dream sun is setting and sort of merge with the light of the sun going down and disappear. And you get the sense, like, and if you want to keep sleeping, you can, but as with some like lucid dream sense, that like, oh, I'm having a dream right now comes over you, and you're like, oh, I could wake up. Toad, you might have experienced some of this in your dreams, but because you resisted it, you're not going to remember it upon waking. The rest of you, though, will remember it as though you had been up and as fresh as a daisy. So if you choose to wake up in the wee hours, you may. But as with most dreams, it will be as though like no time has passed. And yeah. So it's still like 3 a.m, very dark, not even the like hint of it's not twilight in the morning. What is it called in the morning? The other one?
Dawn.
Well, yes, thank you. That one. Dawn. Has not happened yet. So no like light coming in from the horizon, still very, very dark. The sound of like frogs and crickets and stuff in the around. But yeah, you can wake up if you wish. You can turn over and go back to sleep. But Brand, if you wake up even for a second, the stone is in your hand where she put it. But no.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brand is gonna wake up if she has the option. I don't think she could keep sleeping after that.
Zerk will probably get up for a second and say, looks like we're having more adventures for the next day, and then roll back over.
Yeah. Belle will probably wake up for a second and just be like, just go to sleep.
Okay, well, if everybody else is going back to sleep, Brand will go back to sleep.
Nobody like. I mean, I'm assuming you talked to each other. So did you notice that Toad was not awake? Or are you going to wake him up?
Yeah, we'll let him sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, fill
I
him in
think
tomorrow.
we'll talk about it in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a long ride ahead of us.
Yeah. Whittier is unblinking, and there's like a fly like on one of like the sclera of his eyes.
I've told him to keep watch. So he's just standing.
Yeah. Just staring, not blinking. Yep. Great. Okay.
I was hoping you were going to say fresh as a Whittier instead of fresh as a daisy.
Gross. But Whittier's freshness has declined since we last had this. Okay. Great. Fresh as a loaf of time bread. All right. Wonderful. So when you do get woken by the sounds of dawn and people moving, it's not strictly the rest of the caravan or your companions. Along the road, there are carts and horses and oxen and people with like goat-drawn carts and like little wagons. Not the word that I'm looking for. Maybe wagon is the word I'm looking for. Anyway, coming down the road from the direction of the volcano. All of them look different shades of sort of hastily prepared for the road. And they'll like greet people as they go, but they are a little bit like in that like, why are you not already moving kind of a look. Like, okay, get your Z's in. And it's all sorts, but it does mostly look like families. Like this is not travelers, it's regular people leaving their homes. The halfling family will also be up and ready to go as dawn hits, though they look remarkably well rested. And they'll like, start getting some breakfast stuff together, but they're gonna like basically eat and roll. And the rest of the caravan is up and deciding what they want to do. So you all wait.
I think Brand, Yeah, I think Brand wants to say something to the halflings, but like doesn't know enough about religion to like know
You-
how to be like, yo, I met your god last night. So I think ultimately she is not going to do that. But
okay.
she does think about
I mean-
it. She does want to.
It doesn't have to be an eloquent conversation.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fair. And she might actually approach the family and just sort of show them the stone
Hmm.
and be like,
Okay.
do you know what this is?
They're not really gonna know. If you make a statement like, I met your god last night, a couple of them will say that they had dreams of America,
Mhm.
but that like the stone isn't like they don't know what that is. It's not like a, it's not like her religious symbol. They're like,
Got it.
it's cool, it's pretty, it still has that heat, like it not like warm like a coal coming out from a fire, not even as warm as like a hand warmer kind of a thing. It's just like
Mhm.
as though it had been warmed by the sun. It still has that like little heat to it. So they think it's cool. Like they'll be like, "Oh, it's pretty. Like, this is neat. It's still warm. That'll be useful.
Mhm.
Cold nights, you can like keep it underneath your neck or something. I imagine good for soreness. How's your side, by the way? Yeah.
I'm fine now.
But yeah, they don't
Um,
know what the stone is, but several of them will have dreamt of their goddess.
If we compare notes, did we have the
Nope.
the same American dream? We had different American
Different
dreams.
American dreams, yes.
Okay, cool.
Not American dreams, though. That's the but that sounds like they were basically like had a visitation with the image of her or one of her like symbols or avatars, and just that sense of like we're gonna be okay.
Cool.
As they had told you
All right.
before, like the thing that they're sort of counting on is as long as they're together, they're going to be all right. And they're like, they feel sort of more reassured. It's like, we're doing the right thing. We'll be fine once we get settled. Like,
Then I think the only other real option would be to show the rock to Zerk, since he's good with magical stuff, and ask if he knows what this does.
Sure.
Like I'm just trying to figure out if it just is always subtly warm or if it does a thing.
Yeah. If he
Yeah,
brings
so-
over, I will ritually
yeah,
cast
Zerk
Identify.
and Bell, you saw this happen. So you know that she
Mhm.
gave him or her the stone, rather. Sorry, gave Brand the stone. So the fact that it exists in life now, maybe you weren't immediately aware of when you woke up. So that's kind of cool. And it is gonna be warm for like keeps that nice, sun warmed rock. If you had a lizard, they'd be real happy. You have a turtle thing, but yes. So if Zerk wants to look at it, Zerk
Yeah.
could possibly identify.
Yeah, I will ritually cast Identify.
Cool. All right.
Goggles
So-
go on and
Cool. It's a luckstone. So it's a like cool agate kind of, layered rock, been polished very nicely. As I said, it fits like beautifully in the palm of the hand, nice and smooth. The warmth part might just sort of be her little extra touch.
What a
But
lovely day!
it's a luckstone.
Thank you for the raid. We just got raided by No Fame Pod. Thank you so much. Welcome on in.
Good to see you. We are identifying a divine object. It's a luckstone.
We are.
yeah. So Zerk reads the readout on his wrist and presents that information to Brand.
It will. I can copy for you what it does if you would like, and send that to you. But it will make it, just a little bit more advantageous with things going forward. So she gave you something that is going to help you in the coming trials, as she said.
I can look up what it does, but that is good to know. Thank you so much. Cool.
Yes.
Brand will very awkwardly thank Zerk as well.
So she gave it to Brand. Now, like Brand, she gave you the reasoning behind it. You specifically made that choice at the end of the fight with the bandits to like supply the family for what they had lost. So like you did a kindness to her like chosen people of like of her followers, the traditional followers of America. So you have it, but obviously you don't need to be the one that holds it, depending on. But yes, yeah. And Toad was not awake for that dream, so yeah. Are you letting Toad in on this occurrence?
Yeah, we'll let him know what happened.
Once he's done checking on Woodier.
Yeah. How's your zombie this morning?
He seems okay.
Yeah. What tasks are we having your corpse do?
I've run out of ideas to do with him. Just gonna make him sit in the back of the cart.
Okay. Learn to juggle.
I'll give him a sword.
Oh God. Okay. I mean, he had a sword in life. It was a rapier. Suppose you could still have that. That is a thing. Okay. So, your caravan is mostly like of the group that had already somewhat split. The like now dozen or so sort of like little groups of mostly like either individuals or one or two stuck together. You guys are now the largest group that are traveling together. About 2/3 of them are deciding to still continue on the road towards Neildraw and towards the direction of where the volcano is going off, though it's clear now that you're going to have some sort of traffic coming the other way. And then about 1/3 of them are deciding to at least head with the rest of people evacuating or heading out towards the coastline. So you've lost another chunk of the people in this group. Toth Black Eyes is like, has decided that he was responsible for, subduing most of the bandit troop. I mean, like, really, when we think about other people's contribution here, like, he set up, the layout of the fight to make sure that everyone was in an appropriate position. Like, this could have been so much worse. Like, most of the problems with the carts have been able to either be mended or fixed overnight or like into this morning. So really, like, we should just remember where credit is due. And like started off the morning with a bunch of ale and is entirely happy to remind you that like your safety is in part due to him, but like no weaklings, right? Like, I saw you hit things, like you can stay, but like, you're on the fence. Walking about this morning. So as people are leaving, this only becomes more like agitated, in that like you should be grateful that we got you this far. Like, and we don't need you if you're going to be dead weight. So sure, head on off to the coast. That sounds like all right, fine. Sounds like the easy way to go. Like, better not be taking one of the things that I took off of the, like, there were like 4 extra copper. You better not have taken those. Yes, that makes a big difference. That's like a tip for a beer. It's fine. Yes. Yeah. So as the caravan gets started to now put things together and move, and you're going to part ways with the family, coming from the other direction. So back the way that you guys came, there's like the sound of bells and some like dust coming up along the road as you guys are starting to head out. So like the caravan's starting to move, but traffic means it's going to be sort of slower going now that there's enough people on this actual road. You can fit both directions. It's just not as nice as going directly in the middle of the street. And that like bells, and there's a like brightly covered cart, like wooden cart, coming down like down the road at a reasonable clip, back from the direction that you came, but headed towards this village. And you can start to hear some of the people of the village making noises like, oh my goodness, we didn't like, you're here. As this brightly colored cart arrives, and it like Toad, it looks kind of familiar.
Oh. Um,
You're breaking
Yeah.
my heart right now.
I
Alright.
wrote it down.
It's okay.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So
No story
the
an end.
it does. So there's this like brightly covered merchant wagon that now is all closed up, but it's wooden and painted in like all different sorts of colors and has every like gingerbread bell and whistle on it. But sort of situated for traveling. There's a horse behind it, like following along at its like little bit of trot, but is being pulled forward by a couple of oxen, much like your cart is. And like in the driver's seat, going at probably a slightly unsafe clip, like headed towards this village, is Ninifreda, who had helped you back in Obsidian Bay. And she either doesn't see you yet or doesn't recognize y'all, but she is like waving pretty enthusiastically to this village of halflings that you had just helped out. And you can see her like basically like pull the reins and have her like oxen kind of pull the whole like, wait, we need to rock back and forth to actually stop here where you're telling us, as they make like little ruts in the dirt road and jump down from the driver's seat and come over and start like hugging the one family as they're all like, oh my goodness, we didn't think we'd see you this season. You've already been through this direction once. Oh, I missed you all. Oh, it's so good to see that you're well. And she'll be like basically like patting them all for like are we intact? Like, do we have the village is destroyed. What happened? And they'll start going into the like, well, volcano, and then bandits, and then this moron decided to break his leg, but he got help. It's fine. So they're doing the like quick catch up, and you can like hear as you're packing up that this is clearly like a place that she stops on the rounds that she makes when she's going and like selling and buying goods. So they're well familiar with her, but she hasn't seen you yet. So despite the fact that Toad did not remember her name, will you say hello? I'm going with that's in character, actually. That fits right in.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, I'm going to say, hi, Nikita.
Oh my, and she'll like, pat the one little one and be like, well, good to know you're alive, but like, could you not wait? Like 12 hours after I see you the last time, and they tell me that you're already gone, and like, we'll come like do a little, like not quite stomping, but like, agitated, like stampy walk up to your group. Like, it's good to see you're okay. Maybe you less than the others. How we do? Like, were you here for this? Oh, okay. Well, you look fine. That they said they were ogres.
There were ogres.
Yeah, good point. Oh, was that you? Oh, good.
It was a team effort.
The family, I come through here in my when I make my travels back and forth, and I always stop. They're friends of mine, but like they're also, like this is they're certainly some of my favorite, not customers. Like honestly, they never really can afford to buy anything, but like I always make sure that I buy some millet and stuff off of them just in case that the oxen will eat it, But I'm glad they're heading to the coast. Are you all going to the ocean?
Our intention was to continue heading towards that, and Zerk points to the volcano.
Why?
But you-
It's an exploding mountain, Zerk.
There might be the source of all this chaos at that point. Seems likely as anything to be the source of this energy that's causing this.
Oh. What do you know?
Well,
Were you called again? 'Cause
I
we had another one of those weird things. You know, um, like
yes,
An
like in
Inception.
prison. You know, the jail that you got me into before you left me in Obsidian Bay.
yes, there have been lots of things that have happened since we've last spoke, and Zerk Cliff Notes versions of like the America Dream and the other things that's been going on.
Oh,
And so that's where we are.
it sounds like maybe you're acting a champion, not in the way that they intended. So, I think it made sense that it
Or-
was.
Or we're acting champions exactly the way they intended
Oh,
by going to the volcano. At least that was the implication.
yeah, about that. So I've been on the road, and passing some people. At first, it was like, all right, I guess I'll probably head out to the coastline, and then I was like, all right, well, I normally stop through, and I was gonna stop in, but there's some. I mean, it feels rude to call them cult members, but there's some zealoty people coming around, talking about trying to do champion stuff for. Now, as far as I can tell, their understanding of champion just means like, I don't know, chanting and weird sacrificey nonsense. As far as I can tell, it's like little things like chickens and, harvest wheat and blah. But like, also, like, what's a shrine to a random, like, fuzzy being gonna anyway? But there's definitely some crazies forming along the road. I don't know if you've seen any of those so far this way. You might have gone past them, or they're not traveling very far, like very fast. It's mostly people with foot traffic, but you know, they want to make a show of what it takes to be a champion. Now, it doesn't sound like they had the vision either. Most of them are just like they know that this is a thing that happened, but like if you were like, "Oh yeah, like did you feel they're like most of them didn't even experience the call. They just heard about it from somebody else." Um, but they're coming behind us.
Whatever being is calling for these champions seems almost indiscriminate at this point. They need faith. They need followers to gain power, and
Oh well, they're not getting the cream of the crops, or.
I think it's a pure numbers game. I don't think it's the abilities. I think help, but I think if this being gains enough followers, they can sow more chaos on this land.
I think that will affect my bottom line.
Agreed.
Oh, Toad, I do have. I heard a rumor though about your bowl. Well, I heard a rumor about a bowl, but it seems reasonable to assume that it could be a rumor about your bowl. So there's a trader that I work with. I know I told you to head out towards Neil Draw, so I'm assuming that's where y'all are going still. But the like specifically, there's a dealer out there who's been trying to fence off some religious relic-y stuff to some of these lesser hinged people. And someone mentioned a bowl with a wave design, but that would be in the city. So the wackadoodles haven't gotten there yet. So I don't know if that means that they won't have taken it just yet. But and one of the things that they're gonna try is basically a scattershot approach to worship. It seemed a little bit, like I don't. What do I know? But wasn't the most effective seeming. But that's not how we worship my gods. Who am I to judge?
Yeah. Do we even know which god we're supposed to be worshipping with all these time shites?
I mean, they're gods of time, but none of them
Right.
look like this. None of the ones I know. I don't like. Maybe it's maybe it's a foreigner making a play into the. I don't. It seems like amateur hour to me, but hard to judge from down here. And
Have you met Whittier? He was the bandit leader.
no, Toad, I'm not familiar with it. Oh my God, he's dead. Okay.
And
That feels weird. Okay. What's he for?
he helps.
Does he?
He will help.
Oh.
I don't know if you can hear her, but she's complaining at me. Okay. Huh. Are you a stand-in for our mushroom zombie? Okay. That's right. It was definitely a planned cameo. She will now respond to Whittier. No, you won't. I know you won't. Okay. I also don't know what you want. There you go, lap. Okay. Speaking of interruption-y stuff, I have not been absolutely perfect with sort of planned of time, but I haven't given our players a break yet. So I do think it might be a good idea to, yes, Kitty, this is Cricket. She says hi. Well, she says, meow, but she says hi. So I think that this would be a good time for do we need 10 or do we need 5? How are we feeling?
That's fine.
5? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a 5-minute break. I'm kind of hoping that Will be back when okay, great. Yeah, because I also, as you might have noticed, definitely snuck a couple of bites of things in there, and probably a good idea for things like water and the stuff that you need to sustain non-mushroom fueled life. So we'll be back in just a second to continue on for the rest of today, and we'll see you all in 5 minutes. Stick around. All right. Welcome back from break. All right. We have another cat on stream, if you're counting. So that puts us at probably 15. Yes. There we go. We updated cat sightings from before. We have another one now. All of the kittens. All right. And there is a reminder. Oh, delightful pet alert. I love it. Yeah, as a reminder, if you're liking what you're seeing, you're joining us and feel the urge to support not actually directly us, as nice as it is that you support us, it's even nicer to support the International Rescue Committee. Just saying. It's at the bottom. Yeah. We're actually at 150. I know the thing has a 0 over here with where the yellow is, but it's or orange. Pumpkin color. Yes. So, exciting things. So, welcome back. You guys have been rejoined by a friend from Obsidian Bay. So, tearing up the road, coming back from the city. You have Ninafreda has joined your group once again. And had a little bit of news for you for what the rest of the world is responding to these like divine interventions, which is that, you know, not in your direct experience because you've been on either open road or really interacting with sort of one set of people. There's some cult action coming up of people that feel like this needs to translate to their direct worship of this figure that's appeared to them or not in vision. You know, from when you were in jail and talked to people who experienced the same, like, either vision, that not everyone experiences exactly the same thing. So the call for a champion was something that most of, and then sort of all of you heard, but that it wasn't something that everyone heard when they experienced that disruption to time and the visitation of this being with the appearance of the comet in the sky and then the change of direction from the comet. So some people have taken that to be not just a sign, but also instructions of, but in the lack of any kind of understanding of what being a champion means, what you do as a way to present yourself looks like loosely directed worship? Question mark? Yeah. So Nenefreda will let you know about this. She's relieved to see that you guys are not, you know, in pieces, especially after hearing from the family about bandits. Do you tell her about your visit from America, is the question.
Yeah, Zerk would.
Okay. Oh, well, that changes things. That's not cult behavior either. And she'll gesture back to the family. They that's their goddess, as I assume that you know. And you got a gift. That's interesting. That's exciting.
I'll show
significant.
it. I'll show Nenefreda the stone.
And she told you it's two beings, not just one.
Yeah, that part was confusing. But yes, that is what she said.
And okay. And so you got a gift. Told you a little bit about the thing that's causing all this chaos. She say anything else?
Thank you.
Just that the she thinks that the call for champions is so that this being can get more power through worship. So the cult people are maybe doing what it wants.
Yeah. But it feels like if it's just, I mean, like, you all could kill a chicken in my name. It just means that we're going to be eating stew tonight. But no. Okay. She didn't. Okay. I think that gives me a direction too. You're going towards the volcano? Still? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you can handle one more, they don't look like much, but they can move at a steady clip. We'll be right along with you if you don't mind.
We have plenty of space.
Oh, I got. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. The wagon's like totally filled with stuff. But I got supplies. That's, you know, both from our supply run and then just things that I was able to get from before and then along the way.
Our wagon just has Whittier, so.
And the
bread.
fanny pack and the bread. Yeah, that.
Which I think we can eat now.
Mm,
Oh, is
Yeah,
the
how-
bread fixed in real life now after the dream?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we never
yeah,
checked
so
that.
Yeah, we
bread
didn't.
is still emitting light, because light, but it looks like a beacon of light now and bread. It looks like a loaf of bread. It smells great. Like
I
it
really
smells like
wanna
it came out of the oven this morning.
Really want to eat that bread.
um, yeah. So it looks like a loaf of bread. Like the parts of it that looked unfinished or like moldy, you can't, like, no matter how you tilt it now, you can't see them anymore. It's still emitting its light, because you all cast light on it, but it is it looks like a loaf of bread and it smells delightful. Like, yeah. Like if you close your eyes, you can almost imagine walking into a bakery and, asking for this off of the shelf.
Who's gonna eat it? The girls.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna eat it. Like Brand will definitely eat it. Brand will break off a piece and eat it right now.
Yeah.
Great. If you're gonna, Nenafreda's gonna be like, I've got like butter, if you want. Are you
I'm not fancy.
okay? All right. It's delicious. Like it is still somehow slightly warm in the middle, like soft, and the outside has a nice like crunch, but it's not hard to chew through. Tastes like not just bread, it tastes like good bread, which frankly probably wasn't in the back room of the tavern where you got it. So, yeah, tastes like good
Okay.
bread. So far, it's going down fine.
This is really fucking good bread.
I do still have butter. I mean, it's camel butter, but it's butter.
Yeah, we should put butter on it. It's good by itself, but
She will go and get
I'm-
like a little crock of camel butter with like a little
I'm not
spreader
dead,
thing.
so I assume it's safe to eat.
Yeah.
Tastes like good bread now. Might have been blessed,
Hell yeah.
All right. Okay. So, you share your, still slightly toasty bread. Not quite toast, just like, it's been kept warm and delicious from its bake in the oven. Bread. The camel butter is like really, really rich. So like a little bit goes a long way, but yeah, it tastes like really good bread. Like, you're welcome to take the rest of it with you, and then Nenafreda will bring back the butter and the caravans will start getting moving, heading towards, for you guys, in the direction of the volcano. As you've been talking, now it hasn't been very much time, like maybe an hour has passed since you've woken up, maybe a little bit longer than that. The stream of people coming from the direction of the volcano has been like intermittent, but still relatively steady. Like, whereas yesterday there wasn't really any traffic coming from the opposite direction. This must be like basically the first people that were affected by like having to leave because of lava flow. They'll be mostly like you can see like tired, like having traveled through the night, or at least has been like continually packing and moving. But and nobody's in like terrible state, but a couple of them are like ashy, and their stuff has a gray cast to it that it probably didn't a couple of days before. And not hugely talkative, but if people will like ask them questions as they're going, they're all telling that they're going towards the shore, or a couple of them will be like, well, we're going to probably head up to the peninsula, but they're all getting out of this immediate flow. If you ask, they'll say that like you're probably a good day's travel at least from hitting any part of lava, but it's been moving as they've been moving. And the like ash cloud and bombs of, this like igneous rock coming out of the volcano has not really let up since that first sound of it, but you can still hear like the storm of the very distance. In that way that thunder from a very, very, very far really is just like you have to listen for the rumble. But it's still going. And the like orange glow of lava coming down the mountain face was visible at night, not so much during the day. So still very active, just a little bit of a travel in that direction. Ninefreda will like take her merchant cart, and she's not gonna like hitch it to yours or anything, but she'll make sure that like the oxen are moving behind you guys as you go, and you can head forward down the road towards the city. Anything you want to do before you leave, or are we just Oregon trailing until we have to ford the river? All right, great.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to have you guys do then is I'm going to have each of you, if you would, for me, roll a d20 and tell me what comes up.
17.
18.
4.
Okay.
What? 7.
Cool.
7.
Okay. All right.
I was. There's a moment of terror there.
I was going to say, I was like, that's a 1. That I see it on your face. Sure. Are you sure it's a 7 and it's not
It's a
like the
7.
little? Okay. All right.
7.
Great. Okay. So we have a couple of good things that'll happen and a couple of, which is fine. So in the like day before you head out then, or before as they're heading towards the volcano, and before you actually reach any like lava, the traffic over the course of the day is going to get heavier. This is a little bit more haphazardly put together. So this is people that were maybe not immediately affected or were worse affected coming through. So it's getting slower going, pushing through the road. Like there's more people now coming past you than there are in like the caravan going forward, and it's pretty steady. So now the pace of people heading out towards the shore is slow. Like before it was, like not enough of them moving, that they were like intermittent. Now it's fairly constant. So they're now moving at like a walk of their animals as opposed to like a fair clip. There are also now people on foot. So before it was like only like carts and horses and now you've got some like stragglers of people walking alongside because everything is going slow enough that you can do that. So what before was a like trickle, this is now a stream. It's not like pushing you off of the road to accommodate how many people are moving, but it's a fair amount, and they're carrying what before felt packed now feels like grabbed. So it's not like the, we loaded up the cart with the house. It's the take what you need and get a move on. If you talk to people that are traveling the opposite direction, they're going to tell you much the same thing that you've already heard, which is that like you're less than a day, but about like a day's of travel from where you were to where the actual lava is coming down. But that there's like rivulets coming down the actual mountain, that you can't see the top of the mountain because of the ash storm and like the thunder and the cloud of, and that occasionally those like bombs of molten rock that solidify on the way down will like scatter and hit what is at the like civilization at the base. The road to the city is where they said that there's a lot of people that are either fleeing the opposite direction or headed out of there now that just haven't made it this far yet. So you're going to start seeing people from Neildra that are not wishing to be in the vicinity of the volcano or are following the comet. You will also see some of the people that Ninefreda was mentioning, which is that these are people that are fleeing not strictly because of the volcano, but because they're following the comet. So you have like it's a handful, but they kind of stand out. They're all wearing a piece of clothing or like accessory that matches that like red orange color of the comet. Excuse me. Hang on. just dying. I'm fine. Okay. And they're moving, but they're moving with, like things that they can carry with them in a pack. Few of them have horses, but they're almost happy with the travel for, and they're all pretty fine to advertise that they're following the comet and that they're heading off to be champions rather than that they're fleeing for their lives. And yeah, so you're welcome to talk to any of them if you like, but we have a couple of things that will happen along the way.
Zerk goes to Brand and Toad and Bell, just kind of our party, and looking at these people in similar garbs and with Ninafreda talking about cultists and the faith of champions being called into question by America. Zerk goes, is there a possibility that these cultists, these people wanting to be a champion, are going to be sacrificed by the comet? This is a show of force. He needs these beings need some kind of blood sacrifice.
Maybe. Certainly, they don't seem like benevolent gods. But
Agreed.
don't know.
With the road getting more crowded, I'm going to turn back into put the circlet back on and hide a bit.
Zerk is wary to interact with any of these so-called champions, but just would like to observe them as they as we pass by, and just try and gain as much information about them without actually interacting with them.
Awesome. If you would if you'd like to gain useful information, you can pick what you'd like to do with this. You can either do perception, which is just sort of like hearing, like eavesdropping, where you're just listening without, paying attention or anything specific. I'm fine with either investigation or insight. Also, it would just be a different sort of role play action that you're taking depending on what you're hoping to hear. But you're welcome to roll for some success in terms of the things that you're hearing.
I think I would like to go investigation. And what are they carrying? Where do they deem? I know we said there are some people just grab whatever you needed, but the people in the rows particular, do they have provisions? Do they have weapons? Do they have anything that could give us some inclination of what they're doing at their location?
Gorgeous. All
right. Give myself a little guidance. That is going to be 23 for investigation.
Yeah, also, I'm imagining you giving yourself guidance is tapping a like the epaulet of your armor, and it's just cha-ching. Extra shiny for a second. The Zerk's armor is delightfully well equipped. So with the 23, you can hear some of their conversation as they're going. Most don't have some sort of mount, but there are a handful on horseback as they're going through. But the things that they're carrying, so like I said, you're going to notice that they're going to have, because if they're not hiding it, something in that red-orange color, right? And some of this looks like it was either cobbled from a different piece of clothing or dyed. They're not all exactly the same color, but it is red-orange and very bright. So we're not hiding this allegiance here. Most are carrying some form of weapon, but not in a brandish necessarily. If they're mounted, it might be on the saddle, not necessarily on their person. So plenty of people that have some form of armament strapped onto their pack, or so not immediately ready for a fight in the I'm going to pick one with somebody else walking here, but definitely a I think that being a champion is going to require me to do some sort of heroic potential act of violence, and I should be prepared for that. Most of them have real crap weapons, though. This is definitely not somebody's sword that was passed down from their grandfather who was a knight. It's a somebody traded me this for. Other than that, it's fairly standard position. You're not seeing a lot of armor. If there's any, it's things where it's like the like quilted fabric or some like light leather, not even a hide, or certainly no like mail or a handful of people that have something that's like a wooden type shield, but nothing. You're not sensing that this is militia in any way. It's just somebody grabbing a thing that thinks that they're going to have the opportunity to like fight a something. Like, I'm gonna hit it, and maybe like they are all not like borderline frenzied excited about the possibility of being able to prove themselves in some way. So it's a lot of younger people. Like not all of the like, those who normally would rise to a call of faith would necessarily be, but there's a lot of teenagers, for lack of like in who you're seeing, that like young and hungry for a way to distinguish themselves in the world, but no experience to give them something to inform this decision. A couple have things like little medicine bags or like little charm like put togethers that have been like tied together and then are tied onto their gear, like little good luck charm things that are made out of bone and feather and herbs and like a pretty stone or blah, like attached to them. So there's a superstition from some of, and while most are walking by themselves in groups of twos, it's definitely a like I met them on the road, or like this is my brother or whatever, but like yeah, we're walking with the guy that we met when we passed the last little town. So yeah, you're getting a sense of green wannabe adventurers, mostly young, without real gear for if this were to actually turn into some kind of fight, and that they're frenzied for an opportunity. So they might not necessarily be carrying like a brandished weapon right now, but if say the bandits were to come out again, like this group would be like, fecklessly running in, if you had to guess.
Yeah. Okay. Zerk goes back to our party and relays that information, and it seems if it is a end of a sacrifice for them, they do not seem to know about it at all. They think they're going to prove themselves.
Yeah. If Ninifreda is in this, if you are willing to share, because she's driving her cart behind you, she'll be like, did it seem like any of them know how to contact? Like did they? Is there consistency in what they're carrying or saying, or
the garment seems to be pretty consistent across everyone, the reds and oranges. So someone must have given him the attire.
Yeah, well, I mean, when your god doesn't have a symbol, I guess you go with what you got. Just so I don't know. You think we wait for the next brr to come along, or does it sound like they know? Does it sound like they know what they're waiting for?
No, it doesn't. Sounds like they have no idea what's coming.
Amateur hour.
I can't help but think again that the volcano is diversion. It's something meant to drive people away from that location. Now that we see this flow of people going away.
Well, I don't know a whole lot that'll stay on a exploding volcano, except
I don't know a whole lot that can stop time and interact with a whole city at once.
yeah, fair. Well, I mean, like when it comes to the stop-in time, you've only seen a handful of those, right? Like the little shimmer things. and the big stuff is all like that already happened. And she'll like point to the volcano. Like, it's not a, I don't know. I mean, it's big. Like I guess it's big. I'm just saying it's not a, like, none of the big stuff is the future.
Yeah.
It-
There seems to be things he pulled through.
yeah.
But did he pull through the geography, or did he pull through the, or they, or she, or whatever this entity is?
I don't know. Just feels like an actual god would be able to go both directions. Like,
Especially if there are two of them.
and America just told you, good luck.
Good luck in the trials ahead.
And
Gave
thank
us
you.
luck.
Do you have a spare tarp, Ninefreda?
A
Spare
tarp?
tarp.
Tarp. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant tart. And I was like, if you're hungry, man. The
We got
I
bread.
guess it is. We can make a trifle, maybe. I don't know about tart. I could get layers, and then like somebody's got eggs for a custard bit. We could talk. Sorry, tarp. Yeah, oh, probably, or at least like a blanket or something. Wait, what do you want it for?
I want to cover Whittier to make sure these kids we don't cause trouble with these kids.
I do not have any extra blankets.
Let's just hide him inside the cart because ours is covered, right?
It's not.
It's
I don't
not?
like.
Oh,
It's
okay.
open, but like, okay, if it's, I could give you something to put over the cart. Is it gonna end? Are you gonna grow mushrooms out of my blanket if I give you a blanket?
No, I want to grow mushrooms.
All right, I'm gonna find my worst one. She's gonna go rummage in the back and pull out like a scratchy beige, like has seen better days, like camp woolen blanket that like has like a couple of holes that maybe were moth eaten, but like it's seen some it's fine.
It will do, covering
Great.
body in the back of our cart.
Of course, that's a perfectly reasonable reaction to everything that's going on right now. Okay. So we're headed to the volcano, not the city now? Is that the one I'm
I don't know. You said the bowl is in the city again?
the trader that probably has it, or at least that is taking advantage of these fine people as runs out of the city. Now, if he's still there, I don't know. But if you are attempting to fleece someone who thinks that you can become a champion through, then my assumption would be he'll go where the crowd is. So if the crowd is leaving, and if it were me, I'd bring the cart and start selling things from the side of the road, wouldn't you? But like it doesn't. I mean, if they don't know what they're looking for, then like, and a religious object maybe not, but at least you could get yours. And I guess if we're headed that way, I'll keep an eye out for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to go find it, but I feel like it's less important than the other things going on right now.
Also, if there is a dog off of camera, I would appreciate it if you were to say put her on camera. Just
Tough with this
I
background.
was gonna say, it's like I'm pretty sure there's a Bella dog here somewhere.
Ghost
Yes.
dog.
It's all right if it can't focus. Okay.
Yeah.
Space ghost.
All right.
We don't have a
So,
dog.
in the interest of time, because I believe we're on 5 minutes, right, until our normal end time. I'm not losing my brain.
Mhm.
Okay. So, your plan at this moment is to continue down the road in the direction of the volcano, because we know that that is forcing people to flee. Also, it is a event out of time with the actual year in which we are supposed to be experiencing. And as you head down this road, you're also heading towards at least what wouldn't turn off to the city, and that a lot of the traffic is coming from there. So you may encounter this merchant with different religious objects that might have either the bowl that Toad has been looking for this whole time, for the ritual bowl of his people, or at least have some form of religious artifact that could help you figure out some way to get an answer going forward, because it doesn't look like the red orange sash people know what they're doing. But maybe one of them will get lucky, or maybe you will, now that you have a rock. All right. So in the interest of wrapping up with time, that is our plan going forward. So I think we're going to call it here so that we can do some of our recap and favorites and things. I hope those of you watching had a whole bunch of things that you enjoyed. Maybe you're sad that the time bread is no longer time bread. I apologize. But would it taste better this way?
If you think about it, all bread is time bread.
At some point, at least. Yes. So, thank you if you've been watching with us live, or if you're watching on demand. And once again, if you enjoy what you are listening to, watching, etc., we'd appreciate that you pass on that love to International Rescue Committee. Thank you for joining us tonight for Mercy of Time. Next time, last episode, what will we get up to next?
Right? Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
See you next time.